All right, let's talk about that, Spurred. So, Bant Vannifar, or Prime Speaker Vannifar, I refer to this deck as Pod for those who are newer to Magic, because Vannifar's activated ability harkens back to a card, the card Birthing Pod, which was a card that saw a lot of play in Magic's older non-rotating format called Modern. It also saw some play when it was legal and standard. So this card is a similar effect to Birthing Pod. So you hear a lot of people who have been playing Magic for a long time refer to this card as Pod, or when they activate this, we say we're going to pod this creature to harken back to that older card, that the design that this pays homage to, basically. This is a base Bant deck that's looking to leverage Prime Speaker Vannifar here. And you'll also notice that we have a small black splash that might be very greedy off this one Overgrown Tomb for a Muldrotha at the top end. I like a lot of what this deck list is doing. At a glance, my one concern is that if you look here in our 4-drop slot, we don't really have a lot of 4-drop creatures that we're looking to sacrifice. Like, generally speaking, you want a creature at every point in your curve to, like, have some kind of value either when it dies or when it enters play. So that way, if you Vannifar it away, it still kind of did something. Add Conclave. What does Conclave do? Conclave what? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Conclave Cavalier. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Let's trim one Shalai. I think that's an A+ suggestion. This is a great example. This is a 4/4 that makes 2 2/2s when it dies. So let's do that. Let's jump into some matches here. And again, this is a viewer submitted deck list, so we don't change one card in. We're going to play a couple matches, and this is why I play the traditional queue instead of the events. So that way, as we play, if we think of things that we might want to edit or change, we can kind of move things around as we go. Elvish Rejuvenator is another card that's possibly good. We played Elvish Rejuvenator in the Teamer Vannifar deck that's on my website, that I've liked that one a lot. Do you allow revisions to decks that are already in the queue? Yeah, if you've submitted a deck and it's waiting to be played in the queue, I would encourage you to make updates to it. So if you submitted it using a site like, MTG Goldfish or Aether Hub or Stream Decker, you can just update the deck list at the same link, and then the night before I play your deck, I'll grab the latest iteration. Just make sure you don't change the archetype of what you submitted, but working on the details is encouraged. Yeah, Teamer is very reasonable. We've played a bunch of Teamer Vannifar in the past, like 2 or 3 leagues with it, and you can find those on my website. It is $10 for a subscriber to add a deck to my deck queue. It is $20 for a non-subscriber to add a deck to my deck queue. For those of you that are bad at math, that means it's cheaper to subscribe to add a deck, but who am I to tell you how to spend your money? I wonder if our opponent just, like, thinks we're on Fog so they conceded. That would be kind of funny. Hey, the John A, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of people who can ship your Bezo bucks to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Exclusion Mage. I'm putting them on control because they played Esper stuff. Do I want these? This card's probably good against control, right? I'm just boarding like they're on a control deck. Yeah, we have 3 new emotes. I replaced 2 older emotes, then we had 1 new emote slot. So I added Bezos with the new slot, and then I replaced 2 other ones with Yoink and Tilt that weren't really used anymore. Southern Man Gaming, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. The other lands were off to the right side, off the screen. If you look at the deck list in the Stream Decker, you'll see there's 25 or 26 lands, I think. 24 is at least 24, I believe. Yeah, there's 25 lands. Long time YouTube, thanks for the countless hours for your team. Well, thanks for dropping in to ship those Prime bucks this way. Those Prime pays my bills. What feels most powerful overall after your 20+ decks? Well, we played like 50+ decks in this format at this point, and I think it's safe to say that the Sultai Krasis deck is probably one of the most powerful. But if you want a variety of things that are good and strong, be sure to check out my website here. Got a good list of stuff up there. Shargola, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. All of the decks that I play on stream at Ebea are viewer-submitted deck lists, so if there's anything you'd like to see, be sure to submit it using the form on my website here. You can always see what decks are going to be upcoming on my stream by checking out the deck queue link on my website as well. Trying to stay pretty organized around here. Woof! So people can always know what to expect when they're coming to hang out. Yikes! Do you have a second best deck? I have no idea. And again, one of the things that's important to realize when I say it's the best deck, I don't mean that if you play this deck, you're going to win all of your matches. I mean, of all the decks we played, it feels really consistent and executes its game plan every turn. Much like the format was before the latest set got released, there were decks that were objectively the most consistent, most likely, and put up a lot of tournament results, but there were still a lot of different things you could be doing in the format and be successful. We played the red. I actually had the red-white land destruction deck on the website for half a second, and then we played it post-RNA, and it felt a lot worse. The land destruction deck has a hard time with Afterlife, Riot, and Mortified. I think Grixis can go in lots of different shells, probably including Control. Do 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 do. Krasis is good in decks that can cast it. I agree with that assessment. Yikes. This has been one of the issues with Bant versus like Teamer and other things like that. Not having removal in matchups like this feels like a big deal. Yeah, this looks like Wyatt Darby's Esper hero deck, or something close to it. And then we drew Muldrotha. How many times do I have to draw this card before we cut it? Probably not many more. This one's gonna get a yikes from me. Once, yeah, this is too cute. I'm gonna put a Carnage Tyrant in and call it a day. Significantly less castable than Kiki. It's the honorary Kiki of the day. Yeah, we're playing pods, so we might as well like feel like Kiki. I'm gonna turn my heater on. It's a little bit cold down here in my office. It's much colder in my basement than it is. They took the Muldrotha. All right, well, maybe they know something about the top of my deck that I don't. Figured it out. Card's great, chat. Never didn't have it. I'm playing the land out here because I don't want to discard it to a Bellhaunt. We could hold it to bluff, but the downside of losing it to a Bellhaunt is high. Rats. Yep. They have Lyra in their deck? Well, they've officially activated Vannifar more than we have. So that's a yikes. Your inadequacies. Oh yeah. We're still dead, right? I'm gonna move along. I'm gonna sideboard out this Muldrotha. It's silly. What issue is Vivian solving in the gate deck? Sell me on your idea. Tell me why it's good. What is it doing that makes it worthwhile? Alright, so they're playing mid-range. I boarded like they were a control deck, and they're actually playing mid-range, which changes things a little bit. This card probably becomes worse. So generally speaking, you don't want to put sweeper effects in your deck that has 30 creatures in it. Our deck, I get that, like, looking at a board state there where we're utterly dominated because we fell behind, like, it feels like you want something like a sweeper, but in reality, a sweeper's not winning us that game. It's just gonna, like, make us lose more slowly. Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure that Exclusion Mage is better than just, like, playing more Deputy in this deck. I mean, this deck is playing, we have a copy of Tendershoot Dryad, which is very similar to Ooze, and doesn't require you to invest mana every turn. We have a fast start on the play here. See if we get to activate Vannifar a few times or not. Yeah, regular Drakes is good. Jeskai Drakes was fine. Here's the thing. Everything that was fine last season is pretty much still fine this season. It's like, only like very specific fringe decks like red-white land destruction got a little bit worse in the face of like Mortify. If your deck wasn't like heavily leaning on enchantments or board sweepers, it's probably still just as good now as it was last season. Resolves. You can always find my deck list on screen via the Stream Decker widget or by typing !deck in chat. Alright, Pod the Elves. Trigger. Yep. Well, I haven't played a good Sultai build. We tried Sultai and it seemed really bad. I really like Teamer. There's a Teamer list on my website that I'm a big fan of, and this is our first time playing Bant. I think the fact that Bant doesn't have access to good removal is a big mark against it. Like, Teamer getting to play Lava Coil is really, really good. That card is fantastic. Yeah, Growth Chamber Guardian definitely would have been a good find there. I agree with that assessment. Playing Green Black Walk for a while and played Abzan before. Be better with Lingering Souls. I just like having good mana, is what it comes down to. I'm a big fan of 2 colors for the mid-range decks. Hey, look at that. More Buglers. And a pretty good... We've gotten to activate Vannifar 3 times, so we're in a good spot. Or twice. Yeah, Incubation Incongruity could be good. It's slow, but, like, it's better than nothing, probably. We could try a couple of those after this. I want to push some things around. One of the other things we have to worry about in this specific build is that this deck also has to keep in mind that, like, we have to keep in mind a high enough hit for Bugler to hit as well. So, like, there's a lot of different, like, balancing acts we basically have to do to make sure that, like, we're firing on all cylinders. Yes, I think Grixis is pretty mediocre right now. Grixis struggles to answer problem permanence and doesn't have a great clock. I think if you want to build Grixis in the current format, you need to build it in a way that what's the word I'm searching for? You need to build it in such a way that you can close quickly. So, like, there was a Grixis deck at the SCG Open that was playing copies of Crackling Drake and Niv Mizzet. I think that's the way you want to approach it. That's true, Bob. It is just good in general. Like, play more good cards is, like, generally reasonable advice, right? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Gates doesn't have a problem closing games out or like generating card advantage. Like putting in another card that generates card advantage feels weird. Yeah, Grixis Dragons is a good choice. There's a Grixis Dragons deck list on my website. And there was a Grixis control deck that was playing Crackling Drake and Visit that top 32 the Open last weekend. All right, let's cut the adorable Muldrotha and maybe add some Krasis in here. Just like add another forest to the deck. How many white sources are in here? How many blue sources? I have 14 blue, and I have 8, 13. Let's add another white, shall we? How many green are there? Plenty, 17. Not playing Krasis is probably silly. I get that this card doesn't have synergy with Vannifar, but it's just like a good card that you can like find with Militia Bugler, right? Mini Strat. I don't know what that card does. I mean, this card's different than this. Is the Explorer package worth it? The Explorer package is a lot of slots. I feel like the Explorer package is probably worthwhile in the fact that like the aggro matchup's probably a little bit hard, right? Like you need a way to be respectful for that, basically. So this is 65 cards if I wanted to try and do this many. Both of the Explorer package also all gets hit off of Militia Bugler too, which is good. So like it's another way for that to be good as well, which is nice. Well, this doesn't activate at instant speed, so Frilled Mystic gets a little bit mediocre. I'm just looking for one more card to cut here. It's probably just this Exclusion Mage. How do I feel about the sideboard? I need some removal spells in the sideboard, I think. What's the Baffling End? I'm also a big fan of Vivian in general. Alright. Let's try this. Well, we have a deputy in the deck, and I added some incongruities. Incubation incongruities is a way to have additional spot removal. I think if Ooze is a 5-drop, I think it's probably worse than Tendershoot Dryad a lot of the time. I'm not sure though. The person who submitted this deck was playing Tendershoot Dryad, so I want to play some games with that before I swap it to Ooze. I think Rebuke tends to be worse than Sleep a little bit of the time. What's Declan's Dinos? It's a dinosaur deck, so when I play Arena with Declan off stream, we can play that. Declan, as an almost 4-year-old, Declan is a connoisseur of dinosaurs. Is Bugler good enough to build around a Bant? I think so. I don't know. It's felt pretty reasonable. All right, kids. I'm gonna get a count here. How many cards does this Bugler hit? 2, 3, 4. There's 28 Bugler hits in this deck, so we're just unlucky. I think 28 is fine. I think we're just a little bit unlucky. I'd have to run the math, but I'm pretty sure 28 means you're pretty reasonable. Yeah, generally speaking, I think being smart and thin is better than being fat and dumb. The joke is that I am not thin. That's the joke. That's the joke. I'm a hefty boy. I'm a solid 205, 210 pounds, somewhere in there. Depends on how much chocolate I've eaten that week. Somewhere between 205 and 210 probably. I'm right about 6 foot. So I'm not obese, but I am definitely not underweight. No, I'm 6 foot. I'm not 6'5". I think I'm gonna hold this back so I can go 3+2. Yeah, I did see that they're coming to Desktop, which is sweet. I'm really close to pulling out the Hyper Geo to calculate how unlucky we are. You know what? I feel like this needs I feel like we need a calculation. All right. So we've got 60, 28, sample size is 4, success is 1. So we're approximately 92.6% to hit. Based on the hypergeometric estimation with 28 hits. I guess technically there's always 27. So thereabouts, close enough. Whoa, that's the wrong number. 20, close enough. We're 90-ish%. That's not an exact calculation, but it's like close enough for our current thing. So we're very small percentage to miss 3 times. 27 out of 59. It's technically not even that, but like it's close. The proportions are similar, so it's close enough. Here's the thing, chat. While precision is nice, close enough is good enough in most instances. Ross from Friends, thanks for checking in with that Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. Welcome. Weed Blazer 420. You were given a break for talking negatively about another streamer in my chat. Please don't do that. It's not welcome here. If you don't like watching someone on Twitch, just change the channel. There's no need to go badmouth them somewhere else. Not every piece of content everyone makes is going to appeal to everybody else. Do I want Shalai? Deputy of Detention's probably pretty bad here. Knight of Autumn 2. I played a little bit. I played a little bit of Lightseekers. The gameplay was really shallow and didn't really catch my attention. The Warhammer Champions trading card game is really great though. Here's a YouTube video from like 3 years ago of me explaining the hypergeometric distribution. What's going on, Bulldozer? Thanks for the 4-month resub. Welcome back. Yeah, I play the Warhammer card game is actually my favorite mobile card game at the moment. It uses some of the same rotational mechanics that Lightseekers uses, but the gameplay depth is incredibly deeper. If you're looking for a mobile card game, I would highly recommend checking out the Warhammer TCG. And the Warhammer TCG is sweet too, because it has digital and physical integration. So if you buy a paper Warhammer card, you can scan that card into the mobile app, and you get the same card in digital that you have in paper. Which is really sweet. I wish Magic did that. I'd own paper Magic cards if it worked that way for Magic. I actually own a bunch of paper Warhammer cards because they integrate that way. Yeah, their technology is very good. So I think they're holding a counterspell up here, so I'm gonna run Bugler into the counterspell. Would you charge to build a sideboard guide? Usually I'll do up a sideboard guide for you for $25. You just gotta let me know which decks you'd like your list and what decks you'd like a board guide for. It's Age of Sigmar Champions. They just announced that they're coming to PC at the end of March, I think, or in February or something like that. And they're already out on Android and iOS. They did mobile first. It's fantasy. I think I binge Shalai here and then just play Tendershoot Dryad. Do I have sideboard guides for any standard decks on my website? No, none since the rotation happened. I don't write strict sideboard guides that often because they get outdated very quickly. You change one card in the deck list, so all of a sudden people are just completely lost. They're just like, oh no, how do I sideboard? A card changed. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have tapped all my blue mana here. That was a mistake. Not punished, which feels good. So we actually tried one of those on streams, Best Beard, and it wasn't very impressive. My conclusion after playing a bunch of games with it was I just didn't need the red cards, really. What's going on, Thaddeus? Hope you're having a good one. I think I just passed, right? Make another Zapperling. And, like, this is one of the best case scenarios for our Tendershoot Dryad, right? Like, he's pumping out 3/3s every turn. Now, I'm not a big movie guy. Usually when I'm watching something that's not Twitch, it's because I'm, like, binge watching a show. Teamer just, so I actually, Worm and Lava Coil are like the two red cards that you miss being straight blue-green. It might be worth trying to splash just for those, but I don't know. Alright, is it time to be aggressive? Attack with all and let Nicol Bolas sort them out. Oh no! If I'd have attacked with this, they'd have died. Awkward. This is what happens. You should count, chat. Listen, I just assumed that they weren't gonna die. Should have counted. If they had a removal spell, attacking with this looks real bad though. But I guess. Okay, let's talk about that. My not attack was just bad there because if they had a removal spell, they would have killed this before it came back to my turn, right? So I didn't stop and think about the situation we were in that implied they didn't have a removal spell there. Yeah, if you look on my website, jeffhoagland.com, you can find a Teamer Vannifar deck up there. Yeah, they're still just sit on board. How are we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody, wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you're someone who likes standard best of 3 constructed on Magic Arena, this is definitely a channel for you. We play usually 4, 5, 6 different decks a day. We change every 60 minutes to 2 hours. As always, a big shout out to my wonderful subscribers, like our brand new one there, the Fox Rat. Thanks for cashing in that Twitch Prime on my channel this month. I appreciate that. Welcome. They're the folks that keep me employed. I love doing what I do here, but I wouldn't be able to be here day in and day out without my wonderful subs. Past my subscribers, I'll give a shout out to some of my very wonderful sponsors. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series is a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to the Midwest to play in one of their standard, modern, or legacy tournaments, you can also find them streaming online every single month at twitch.tv/NRG series. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars using code Hoagland at bit.ly/sugarbar. You can save 10% on your orders there with them. BCW Supplies would love to help you protect your very valuable Magic the Gathering cards and other gaming accessories. They do sleeves, deck boxes, binders, and all sorts of other fantastic stuff. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. Thanks for dropping in here today. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you choosing to spend part of your day here with us. I'm going to be streaming till, probably like 4, 5, 6 o'clock, another 5 or 6 hours or so here. I'm here every single morning into the afternoon doing Arena. If you also enjoy Magic's older formats like Modern and Legacy, I start with an older format every single morning as well. Does anyone have a clip of Jeff talking about Paper Magic's growth yesterday? I tweeted a clip if you dig into my Twitter, Neil. Am I no longer sponsored by Lisa? I do still have a Lisa code that's valid, but I've pulled them out of my sets of banners there so I can fit newer ones in. Scrubs, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. My Lisa code links are here. How many digits is my DCI number? A lot. It's like 9, I think. I started playing Magic when I was 11, but I didn't actually get a DCI number until I was almost 20. Older than 20? I might have been 20, actually. Didn't have a DCI number for a while, at the very least. God bless you, little bugler. I take back most of the bad things I've said about you today. That is not the land I wanted for Christmas. Yeah, Esper Angels could potentially be very reasonable, I think. So, it's awkward to play this before the Wild Growth Walker, but I needed to hit the land there, right? You can always find the deck list by typing !deck in my chat. Yep. Alright, let's Incubation. I might hold the second one as a removal spell here, though. Okay, I think I just grabbed Prime Speaker here, right? Just, like, make them have removal. I almost forgot we were a Prime Speaker deck there for a half second, right? Like, this card adds so much consistency to these archetypes. This is a card I've been very, very impressed with in straight blue-green climb. Awesome, Joyous. Good to hear it's still relevant. I am a tea drinker. I'm not really picky. Just like unsweetened tea in general is kind of my go-to. Draw a couple of cards. The fact that Bugler finds Krasis is so great. What's my recommended binge show? I'm a big like supernatural magic style fan. So like Christy and I have like watched through actual Supernatural. We're currently rewatching Charmed together. Things like that, nitty gritty magic. I like what is it? Magicians is a current show that I've watched off and on. I kind of feel like I grew up with Sam and Dean, right? Like, their Supernatural's been airing for, what, like 14 years or something obnoxious? We did start the day off with Kiki Cord today. That's an interesting question, Eagle Shark. I don't think so, because generally speaking, the math on this card says you want, like, close to 30 creatures to hit consistently. We did start, for my old timers out there, we played Kiki Cord in Modern to start this morning. And we played all 5 matches. It was wonderful. Lots of good memes. You ever watch the 100? That's the one where they dropped them from space, right? I think so. I think that's one of the lists. I went on a post-apocalyptic worlds kick at one point a couple years ago. So I'm pretty sure I've watched that one. Yeah, I watched a lot of Buffy. They actually just rebooted Charmed, which is interesting. Part of me hopes that they do a Supernatural Charmed crossover at some point, since those are both on the CW. We are in the grind, chat. We are in the grind. I watched a little bit of Doctor Who. What season did I fall off at? I watched a bunch of the newer Doctor Who stuff, but I fell off at some point and I can't remember why. I believe so. I think I've watched the latest on Supernatural. All right, let's attack with this. And then we're going to put Vannifar into play here, because Vannifar is just a huge lightning rod, right? Like, they need to kill this or they're going to die. Actually, let's Bugler first. Let's Bugler first. So now, I think I'd rather Vannifar than get this going to start. Who was the doctor when I stopped? I don't remember. Yeah, 10 months, Night Stars. Thanks for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, we actually played 4-Color Gates on Monday. You can find that on my website and my YouTube channel. It was actually really good. I was super impressed with it. Did you draw a removal spell, or do I get to start getting value? I wonder if this is gonna come down to decking. I feel like there's a non-zero chance this game is gonna come down to decking. All right, so I should go get Shalai, right? Because Shalai just makes my team huge. Shalai also gets my team out of range of finality, which is great. So I can play this, and then I have 4, 5, and I can play a land, so I can activate. Yeah, I'm getting close to 2 Shalai activations. Let's just do this now, just so there's no questions. No reason to attack here, because next turn this will be bigger than their Krasis. Shalai is a good board stall breaker for sure. Get ready for magic on your cell phones. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, Carnage Tyrant, that's adorable. Look how cute it is, chat. Look how cute the Carnage Tyrant is. It's adorable. Oh, I could detention. What do I want to detention here? Do I detention their wild growth walkers? I think I detention their wild growth walkers, right? Because their Krasis are just going to be tiny. I could take their Krasis. Yeah, I guess taking their Krasis makes the most sense. If I do this, I still have 6 because of my Llanowar Elves. Don't mind me. Dunk, dunk. Nah, I think I want to get Lyra down this turn. Yeah, the client is chugging a little bit on me here. That was gasoline. Now that was sweet. That was some good stuff. Definitely want some Vivians. I think Carnage Tyrant is actually too small in this match on average. Joyous Farm, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub there. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I think Wild Growth Walker is actually not that great here too. Well, thanks, Monstra. Glad to have you here. Thanks for the compliment. Do I want Baffling End? I think Baffling End is good here. Storm Tamer might be good for the removal, that's true. I wonder if I want to just like some negates in my sideboard. Oh, it does take out Krasis. Yeah, I like that a lot. How many creatures do I have? 30 and 4. I think I'm supposed to trim a Bugler. Well, I guess Bugler hits Bugler. Lyra's not very good here. I'm going to trim her. I'm bringing a lot of cards that Bugler doesn't hit is the issue here. Let's do that. Why not Zoidberg? So there's just not room, Gabriel Paints, and this isn't my build. This is a viewer submitted build to start, but I'm kind of a fan of the Wild Growth Walker package. This deck's basically electing to play the Explore package, which fills a lot of your early slots. The Storm Tamers counter their removal, and the opponent's deck doesn't actually have that many removal spells. So like stopping their first removal spell on Vannifar could let Vannifar run away with the game. Shalai's been really impressive. There's a lot of board stalls in this format. Siren Storm Tamer plus Shalai is also kind of cute, right? Like, she protects this and this protects her. Nice. Hitting all my land drops here feels good. Please miss a land drop. Please miss a land drop. Oh, we're not well suited to handle their aggression, so hopefully they're gonna stumble. Sweet. Why would this deck get better without Vannifar? Vannifar's basically a lightning rod. Vannifar's a card that says if they let us untap with it, we're probably going to generate enough value that they're going to lose the game very, very quickly. So I'm not sure what you're trying to change or solve by cutting Vannifar from this archetype. Like, why is that a good change? I'm going to leave Siren Storm Tamer back here so I can chump block a Wild Growth Walker in the event that they play another Explorer creature next turn. Tristani sounds great as a chump blocker. No, the legendary rule applies for copies.
I've seen squirrels hit harder. You can't stop nature.
I played Shalai without having the Storm Tamer backup here because of exactly what happened here. My only other play that turn was play Krasis for 1, which I don't really want to do, and I want to just use my mana efficiently. These games tend to play out in a way where both of us keep our hands pretty full for the entirety of the match, which means that I want to just be as mana efficient as possible every single turn, so that way I'm not passing the turn without using my lands. Why would you kill my Llanowar Elves and not my Storm Tamer? So while playing the Shalai out there allowed it to die, it allowed me to be resource efficient while I was doing it. Because, like, I'm basically just, like I said, I'm going to spend my mana every turn for the rest of the game, most likely. Hey, Minimup, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Please never insult my opponents while I'm playing. 1, in general, it's just rude. 2, people often come back to watch the matches after they played me if they see my username, and I don't want people to feel insulted or intimidated when they play me on stream. Frylock, thanks for the brand new Twitch Prime sub. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good Wednesday wherever you're at in the world. Bugle boy, do. Branchwalker is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted for Christmas. Do I pod? I'm gonna pod the Branchwalker, right? I think. I want to find a land drop this turn. So if this misses, I'm gonna get a Jadelight Ranger. I have a Krasis in my hand already, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle that away and go get a Jadelight. Maybe I'm supposed to Baffling End here. I guess if I hit a land, I can Baffling End, right? Huh. Yeah, let's just leave that there. Go.
How no one knows the wilds like I do.
Double Baffling End's about to be real good here.
Balance comes.
Oh, I could Deputy the Walkers. That's a good suggestion. Huh. I didn't even think about that. Well, I don't have that option now. Man, Deputy the Walkers was a good line. If I Bugler into a 2-drop, I could Deputy the Walkers, but that's pretty unlikely. Oh, I could Krasis for 4 and then pod that into it. That's actually not bad either. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. This is a 2-drop. So X spells are confusing for new players a lot of the time, even experienced players sometimes. So an X spell has X in its converted mana cost. What? God bless America, my country. 'Tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. That's the only Deputy of Detention, chat. That's the only Deputy of Detention. All right, onward, upward, backward, forward. One Shalai, please. Oh, I should have attacked Vivian. I didn't attack Vivian with my flyer because I'm dumb and I clicked through it. The reason why I didn't do it is because I clicked through it. That explanation got weird real quick. Sorry, so X spells include X in their casting cost while they're on the stack, but they don't include X in their casting cost while they're in play. So this thing costs 2 while it's in play, but it costs 6 while it was on the stack. I paid 2 life for the land because I have Siren Storm Tamer to protect Shalai from Vivian. Just the concession. God bless us, everyone. The Storm Tamer ended up being very good there. Someone mentioned they thought the Storm Tamer was awkward. It actually ended up being really critical. I actually wonder if Storm Tamer is just good in the main deck of this deck. Storm Tamer plus Shalai is a sweet lock up there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think are we about to get memes, chat? You think this deck's too vulnerable to sweepers? Yeah, probably weak to sweepers. Deck with 30 creatures, weak to sweepers, news at 11. It's possible that, maybe we should look at the sideboard. It's possible there should be some negates in the sideboard. Anytime you mute yourself, it replays the audio from the past few seconds. Is that supposed to happen? I think that's a bug on your end. I feel like if that was happening, somebody else would have said something by now. I'll go back and double check some of my videos afterwards, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. I would recommend double checking and seeing if you have me open in a second tab. Yeah, this is actually... Twitch has been having some weird audio issues lately, so yeah, if like you're experiencing audio desync or something like that, I'd recommend refreshing. So sorry, this matchup is actually why I put 2 Baffling Ends in my sideboard as opposed to Seal Away, because Baffling End is much better in matchups like this. Yeah, nothing changed in my setup, and I had a lot of people reporting audio desync issues, and like, they just like refreshed and they generally went away, I'm told. Alright, we did. Windows 10 updates, yikes. Windows 10 sounds terrible. Why would you do that to yourself? No, we died to lack of interaction there. Our opponent's deck just like kind of comboed off on us. The opponent's deck is very, very good when someone's ignoring you. What's going on, Burgle? Of course, I'm a Linux man. Linux master race. Whee. Do you want to see my terminals? My terminals are lovely. Is it risque if I show you my kernel on stream? What do? How do you know if someone's using Linux? They'll tell you. Alright, I feel like I probably want to trim some of this top end. Feel like I probably want to do that. This doesn't seem unreasonable. Maybe I'm supposed to leave, like, the Cavalier in. This seems fine. Listen, OS X at least has a Unix kernel in it, so I'll give you a pass. OS X is like Unix for people who have too much money or don't know how to spend their money well. If you have lots of extra dollars sitting around, OS X is fine. I mean, this hand's really good if we get going. The Wild Growth Walker good against red deck, news at 11. The fact that we had mono Temples of Tilt to start here kind of sucks, but the spells in the hand are good enough that we're keeping. Whee! I don't know. At the end of the day, like, Windows, OS X, Linux, none of it really matters anymore. Like, for a lot of the people that use the computer is literally a open Google Chrome application, or like open your web browser and use Facebook or the internet or whatever. So like, unless you have very specific tasks, for a lot of people, it just doesn't make a difference anymore. HS Cheese, thanks for the $10 tip, I appreciate it. Teamer Hydroid. Sounds good, sounds good, sounds good. Mono Krasis decks, please. All the Krasis decks. Lands! I need lands! Ding ding. Maybe Shalai can pull us out here. Light up the stages real good. It is still a tapped land. Yikes! Yikes! Woo! Did it! We did it! Run it! We did it! Yay! Yay! We did it! Yikes! So I think I'm gonna lead on Militia Bugler here because this could find a Wild Growth Walker for us, which would be good. Ooh, ooh, found a piece of candy. Found a piece of candy, chat. Is the bird coming back this turn? Might be dead, chat. Might be dead. Yikes. No, Arena runs well using a piece of software called Wine, which is a compatibility layer for running Windows applications on Unix operating systems. Is width more important than girth? Isn't that the age-old question? Is width really more important than girth? Just a question you have to ask yourself sometimes. This matchup has to be rancid for us, I assume. Girthing pod. Those are the same thing, aren't they? It's height versus length, or versus girth, right? Yikes! Yeah, they're like I said, the Memekin, the mono red Steamkin deck like that is just so good against everything that's trying to ignore it and not kill their creatures. So like anything that's not controlling is gonna give it a really easy matchup. Yeah, GG's Dozer. This hand is really good now. What's going on, Andorak? Whoop. Turn 1 Llanowar Elves. Don't mind if it does. Jerome! Thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. You can ship those Bezo bucks to every month. Thanks for shipping them here. Are we playing a mirror? We might be playing a mirror. Mirror of sorts. Looking for a land. Turn 3 Prime Speaker on the play would be real good here. Dang it. Dang it. Turn 3 Prime Speaker on the play would be really good here, deck. Could we do that, please? Please, deck? Are you listening, deck? I believe we're playing a mirror. Dryad Bugler makes it sound like it. They already played one of these, so I'm just gonna jam this. If this is a mirror, they probably don't have. They're unlikely to have another. Jeff Bezos is the person who owns Prime. And Prime is like Amazon giving me money. So we refer to Amazon Prime as Bezo Bucks. So I'm going to turn this into Conclave. And then I'm going to play Shalai out of my hand. And then next turn we'll upgrade Conclave to a Lyra. And beat them down in the air. And I have an Incongruity to kill theirs, which is great. Yeah, we added 3 new emotes for the subs. We added Bezos, and we added Yoink and Temple of Tilt. You ooze, you lose, opponent. You ooze, you lose. Always Turkey Sloth. If we get a land, we can start activating Shalai. Well, this game's probably pretty over with that. Curve was D's plus. I'm just gonna swap Wild Growth Walker for Vivian, like give a little bit extra beef at the top end. This card doesn't really exile anything we really care about, so I think I just leave it. Other than that, seems fine. Oh, this does kill Vannifar and Shalai. You're super right. Thank you for the catch. When is the season over? I believe the season ends this afternoon, and the new season starts tomorrow. I think there's a gap. Put this towards Esper Amulet Mill in the queue. Well, Duzinder, thanks for the biddies. I appreciate it. I believe that'll push it up into tomorrow. The standard queue's been staying pretty trim. We've been on top of the ball. We're playing lots of arena these days. Which sets rotate out next? In October, at the end of October, all the sets before guilds will rotate out. So there's not a rotation for like 8 months. What are my thoughts on cube draft? I think it's fun. I like high-powered cubes. The reason why I don't generally enjoy playing limited is because the gameplay tends to be low-powered. So cube draft's an interesting way to play limited because it's a higher-powered format. Has your viewer number gone up a lot since Arena? Yes. Arena consistently has a 2 to 3 times the number of viewers I have when I play Magic Online. Wow, that's rude. Actually, I'm gonna hold on to this because killing their Vannifar is really important. I don't know what standard cube refers to. We should call her Alexa because she's the Amazon Prime speaker. That's excellent. Super rewarded for holding my thing. Yeah, probably someone who is watching the stream. Their list does look very similar to what we have going on. That happens occasionally. We like get playing a deck and then we'll like queue into an exact mirror. Yeah, Krasis is just good. While Krasis doesn't synergize strictly with Prime Speaker, it synergizes with Militia Bugler, which is another good card. Just like, One of the biggest things I would like to impart on you when you're brewing especially is don't skip playing cards that are just genuinely good because they don't mesh with one of your themes. Like, your deck's gonna be much better on average if you just put a bunch of good cards in it. Yikes. Do I think people ever ghost you? I don't know, probably. Do I care? Not really. So they're trading this for Branchwalker here, which seems good for me. I think I just do this to draw 2 here, trying to find another Incongruity. Or a Vannifar of our own. Yeah, there's also the chance too that, like, if someone's watching and they're like queuing to us, and even if they're not ghosting, they don't close the stream, right? They just like mute it and minimize the tab. I've definitely done that before, like been in chat like while I'm playing against someone who's streaming, but like I'm not watching the stream while I play too. Wonder if we're gonna see them kill my Grixis here. Bugler, sure. They might be far enough behind on mana and have a small enough board that we can like get through this still. Perfect. Perfect. Have another lizard. You're gonna lizard, and you're gonna lizard. Everybody gets a lizard. Correct. If you Vannifar into Krasis, it just dies. It is a 0/0. Well, that doesn't do anything. Alright, so they stumbled a little bit. Yeah, I didn't board Baffling End in on our side just because I don't think it hits enough impactful things. Like, the things you want to hit in this matchup are like 4 drops mostly. Let's play one more before we move on. Yeah, I agree. I think especially in, like, we're not playing ranked even, there's no prizes on the line. I think most people that, if they're on the stream, they're gonna tap out. Because, like, if they're just playing Magic without direct prizes related, they're probably trying to get better at Magic, and ghosting doesn't help you do that. Hey, Jerry, thanks for the tip. Please add these to Abzang Glass. I don't want to wait until next week. Perfect, will do. I'll get those added after the stream today. Thanks for the support. What do you think about this versus Teamer pod? I think I like the Teamer build better just because the removal in Teamer is so much better. Having access not only to the worm, but also lava coil is a big deal in Teamer. The queue basically always has a bunch of decks in it. So, I think there's like 50-ish standard decks in the queue right now, and I play 25 to 30 standard decks a week. So if you submitted a deck for just $10, you're looking at about a 2-week wait right now. But remember, if you send out extra dollars in past the minimum, you wait less time too. So if you donate a little bit extra, like I think like $40 gets you into the next day or so. So it depends on how long you want to wait or not. Doing a pretty good job of keeping the standard queue everything under 50 points. If we get to a point where there's a bunch of decks above 50 points in the queue, I'll add some extra streams in to work them down. I just jam her? I think I just jam her. Let's do it. I did not, Snacks. Kiki Cord this morning was aggressively mediocre, as expected. Land! Ding. Alright, so let's Detention Sphere, this Thief of Sanity. I'm holding on to this as removal. That's true too, yeah. Sometimes there's a deck in there that's exceptionally sweet, and other people bump your deck submission up because they want to see it sooner. To review the submission form. Oh, I respond to submissions every evening. So my schedule every day is wake up, eat breakfast, stream, and then after I finish streaming, I export things to YouTube and then respond to all submission forms. All forms that are submitted. So that happens every day. Conclave Cavalier is 2 dudes in a hirsute. It kinda is, isn't it? Yikes. Alright, well we're losing this race here, unfortunately. Let's see how much they want to attack with here. Hopefully they just attack for 4. Yeah, attacking with the Bell Haunts too is bad for us. So I get to double block here, which trades Bugler for Bellhaunt. And then I take 7 down to 5. I'm gonna get to go land Krasis, but I think I'm dead on board, right? If I Krasis, I jump up to 7. If I Krasis, I jump up to 7, and I can block here. Like, eat, bump, and take exactly 7. I can Bugler, block, Incongruity this, take 4, not die this turn. And then next turn I can play another Sunpetal Grove and then do this for more. So if they brick here, we could be okay. That doesn't look like a brick.
Mistakes. A small example of my genius.
I assume we're gonna start seeing 1/1s come in here. Alright, they did the full attack. The full attack is like kind of okay for us. So I get to go eat this, jump here. If I do this, I die, right? So I have to do this. Yeah, and then I'm taking 4 down to 1. This card's so good. I don't know if this gets us out of this, but it gives us another turn at least. Does that get me out of this? So I could do this and gain 3 up to 4, and then I could block 1, 2, 3, and then I take a bunch. No, I can play Tristani, and then I can play Krasis for 1. I can play Krasis for 1, chat. I'm pretty sure this means I live because the tokens have lifelink, yeah. I didn't Branchwalker because they have a 1/1 flying in the air. So if I play the Branchwalker instead of this, I die in the air. If they would have drawn a brick last turn, we actually would be in a really incredible spot, right? Like if they hadn't drawn a flying threat. What? Alright, there's no way this attack is right. I don't know, maybe it is. I have no idea. Maybe I'm dead. Maybe I'm dead and I just don't know it. Am I dead? Did they do the math? They didn't do the math, right? I'm actually exactly alive. I stay at 1 here and I eat most of their board. They have no cards in hand. Yeah, they just did a math is for blockers attack here and it leaves me at 1. Yeah, this attack is really bad. Oh, this has been a good game of Magic. What's the out here? I don't know. Let's play Magic and find out. Do 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 do. Bum 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 ba da dum bum. Beep 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 doo do 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 do. All right, Dovin down. Gain 4. So you're saying there's a chance, huh? Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. The Vigilance creature was a free attack. You're right. I forgot the Vigilance creature. I forgot it had Vigilance. Oh, Krasis had Trample too. Duh. It's cool. It's cool. You know what? That was excellent. Were y'all anybody else excited by that game? I got a little excited. Is this a Vivian matchup? I don't know if this is a Vivian matchup. Vivian, like, isn't great against their Seraph Angel. Vivian generates card advantage, though, which is nice. What do I want to cut? I have 60 cards, and I kind of like all of them at the moment. It's not stealing if the opponent's giving it away. Maybe I trim a Jadelight Ranger. How many creatures am I at? That was just an impressive, it was an impressive game. It was a good, and someone even asked, like, what's the out here? And I was like, I don't know, let's take a draw. Scrylock, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome, welcome. I don't know if I want to trim anything. I feel like it's like exactly Jadelight Ranger is what I have to give away here to get these Vivians in. Lyra is kind of okay. Maybe Lyra's the cut just because she's like a big dumb beater against the deck with removal in it. Let's cut that. I'm a big fan of low creature mid-range decks. Do you think that non-blue-green decks have a chance to influence Grixis decks? It's a hard sell playing a non-Krasis deck in the mid-range. I feel like if you want a mid-range in this format, you need to be playing Krasis. So like if you're not playing Krasis, you probably need to be going under people or going way over the top. I guess that's not strictly true. The Gruul, the flying decks need to like the Angels and the Phoenix decks were okay. We played Naya Angels to start today, and that deck felt pretty reasonable. So maybe I don't mean what I'm saying. Esper Hero deck's okay. I don't know. Like, I feel like it gets outclassed. I don't know. I'd have to, like, if this Esper mid-range deck can flip coins against the Sultai mid-range deck, it's probably okay. Yeah, my research here is supposed to be here somewhere in the next 4 to 5 days. Relocate. Is the word I have been sent? Seems fine. Is it okay? Yeah, I guess if you get counter spells, Thief of Sanity is very good against Assault type mid-range, so like that's like probably a fair assessment. Shalai. One combat step, please. I didn't attack for one because I wanted to not shock myself that turn. I had a shock line to put into play tap there, so that's what I elected to do. If they kill Shalai here, I might just play Krasis. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play Krasis for 3 next turn, just so I have a blocker. It's really good, Pum Daddy. You can click into the graveyards too, and you can click on my deck and see what cards are left in it. The overlay is A+. Oh no, they've been to Tristani. That's sad. I think I just have to do this for 3 here, rather than let them draw another card. Yikes. They ditched a Tristani and a Prime Speaker, so I wonder what... So the other card they took is better than this, which is a little scary. This is another reason to put Vivian in my deck, which is nice. That's brutal. Because this permanently gets rid of it. On to the next one. I'm gonna restart really quick while we're waiting for them to sideboard. Audio is starting to go roboto on us. About 3 hours in, makes sense. Sure. So, my opponent's playing a Thought Erasure deck, and for those that are new, my school of thought against Thought Erasure decks is you should never mulligan a hand that has reasonable lands and spells in it, even if those spells aren't very good, because if you mulligan for better spells, they're just going to cast Thought Erasure and take your better spells away from you. If I had asked would I play in a VSL or streamer tournament, yeah, I played in the Twitch 10K tournament that happened. If you recall, I was a part of that. I don't really get asked any official WotC stuff though. Although I guess I did get an invite to their everything. Every streamer got an invite too, so maybe that's a change in. We'll see. In the past, I've been a little bit much of a vocal critic of Wizards of the Coast for them to want to send too much my way, which is fine. We do well enough here on my own. Hooglandia keeps me going. Y'all are great. In the past, that's true. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they haven't stepped in it that much lately. Yikes. I mean, like, I don't know that that's a fair assessment, the Freak. Like, we literally just haven't drawn spells in these games that we lost, which is just like, you can say that for any deck of Magic, right? Hey... We had, Kantetsuka. Thank you for the 3-month resub. I appreciate the quarter of year. Welcome back. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 19. Thank you, Azentoth, for the little over year and a half there. Has anyone submitted an Abzan tokens list? I don't think so, but you can always check the deck queue on my website. There's like 50 standard decks in there at the moment, so I don't remember everything offhand that we have going on. They ditched a Thought Erasure knowing I have this Vivian. They must have needed a land, huh?
How this thing goes. Draw and fire.
Draw and fire. Yeah, you can always find the deck queue on my website, or bit.ly/deck queue for short. It's not quite as cold as up north, but we are pretty chilly down here. We're in the negative teens, negative 20 or so. Yeah, Jeskai control's really good. I am in Central Illinois, like 2 hours south of Chicago. In the cornfields. If this Vivian gets to keep going here, we could power through what they have going on. Both the decks we've played so far today have been so good, I've run long on them. Probably gonna have to run late to finish up 5 decks today.
Meet my newest friend.
Oh, that's really good. Is it? Do I just take Jadelight? Do I take Jadelight or do I take the Shalai? I think I just take Jadelight since I can play both of these this turn. I can't have 8 lands in play this turn. And like, if I play, oh, I was gonna say, maybe I am supposed to take the Shalai, because Shalai protects my hand too, right? I was gonna be like, well, they just thought seize this or thought erasure this, but Shalai would have protected that in my hand. Winfield. Winfield does not ring a bell. Not sure about Chester either. I grew up in the south suburbs of Chicago, like Oak Lawn, Allsip, Blue Island, that area. I moved down to Bloomington for grad school when I was about 21, 20. I finished grad school at 21, so 20, yeah. So I've been down here for about almost a decade now, 8 years or so. Wow, rude. Rude. Well, we figured out why we haven't drawn any spells. They took our best one. Joke's on you, opponent. I don't have any spells. I don't know what PSEO is. I started undergrad at 16. All right, it's a good one.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Perfect. 4, 5, 6, 7. X to 7. X to 7. Alright, well, we don't have a lot of spells, but the spells we've got are good. A lot of the different Vannifar decks we've played have felt very reasonable. Like, she's a really good mid-range card. Dang nabbit. Well, they're gonna cast this for 1, I assume, and then we'll get it back with Tristani next turn. Or not. The sad part here is we're losing Vivian Reed to the Seraphim Scales.
Every defeat is a new beginning.
The nice thing about Tristani here too is that she lets me just like attack with these into this 3/4. Yeah, they get another big Hydra here. Well, they need to kill Prime Speaker, and they probably need to kill Tristani. Well, chat, remember, cards aren't safe in my hand in this matchup. They have Thought Erasures, so, like, I guess they're through 3 of them. I don't know, getting to attack this turn is valuable, too, though. And, like, they traded their 4/3 off, so, like, next turn I can attack with all of these. I kind of need to get the game over, because I don't have any gas left over. I mean, they can Hydra without killing the Tristani. I'll just get it. Good news. There aren't cards in my deck that kill Tristani. God bless. Yeah, if I get another turn and we get to get our Shalai out, they're gonna be super dumpstered. How many lands do I have? I have 6. I only have 10 right now, so I can't double. Dang it! Did they find a removal spell? Rats. Oh, Incongruity does kill Tristani. You're right. I do have copies of that in my deck. Sometimes magic sucks and then you die, chat. Sometimes magic sucks and then you die. This was an otherwise really good game, and then we didn't draw any spells. Ugh. Yeah, yikes. That's a pretty frustrating end to an otherwise good match. The game where we had our comeback was really good. Yep. Alright, I hate to end on a low note, but we've been on this one for a while, so I want to make sure we get through to get as many decks today as possible. The place we ended up on felt pretty reasonable in this deck. One of the things I just really want to highlight, because I think it's an important deck building lesson in general, and in this format especially, is that just because a card doesn't synergize with the primary thing you're doing, in this case Prime Speaker Vannifar, doesn't mean you shouldn't be playing it if it's just a good card in your colors. Hydroid Krasis should probably be in almost every deck that can make blue and green mana in this format. It's just very, very good. And you can't Prime Speaker Vannifar into it, but we can Militia Bugler into it, and that interaction was reasonable. Play the good cards in your deck. Your deck's going to get better from having good cards in it. As far as Prime Speaker goes, I've continued to be pretty impressed with this card in this format. Also, Prime Speaker alongside Shalai was really sweet on more than one occasion, so I think I'm pretty happy with where I ended up at. I might not mind a second Deputy of Detention, perhaps in the sideboard. To more removal. These Ministrants of Obligation are probably a little bit too cute. A couple of counter spells in the sideboard, like Negate or Disdainful Stroke, to counter things like Kaya's Wrath might also be reasonable. Siren Stormtamer also performed, like, reasonable in some of the games that we played, so I could even see, like, maybe fitting this into the main deck in some situations. As far as Tendershoot Dryad versus Ooze goes, we really didn't have too many situations where it came up, but we did have one against a Grixis deck where Tendershoot was much better than I think Ooze would have been, so... Would you run Krasis in the teamer list? Maybe. I guess that's a good question. Perhaps I'd have to really look at the deck list and think about it. The teamer list is a little bit more aggressive, so perhaps it can argue not playing it by getting under it, but the reality is that we probably should fit some into the teamer list too. All right, let's